Released on June 10, 1996, Wizards of the Coast unleashed the 14th set of the Magic the Gathering franchise. Called Alliances, this was an 8 expansion set along with being the second set in the Ice Age block. The set symbol for Alliances was the pennant. This set was released 8 months after the poorly developed Homelands set, which was the largest gap of time between sets in the history of Magic the Gathering. It was originally the third set of the Ice Age block, with Homelands being the second. When the set Cold Snap was released, however, Homelands was taken out of the Ice Age block officially. The designers of Alliances took out some themes from the first portion of the Ice Age block. The snow theme mechanic, which was essentially a failure overall, was taken out, but one add-in was the alternate casting cost mechanic. Also known as pitch cards, it allowed a player to discard specific colors and or life to cast a card instead of paying its mana cost. This mechanic would also appear in the Betrayers of Kamigawa set and Cold Snap. There are a total of 5 cycles in the Alliances set. 2 of the cycles included the replacement lands and the double hosers. The replacement lands were rare lands that when played had to be sacrificed unless a basic land was sacrificed in its place. The replacement lands had a mana ability that produces mana of that land type along with having another activated ability. The replacement lands were Yeldoran Outpost, Soldeli Excavations, Lake of the Dead, Balduvian Trading Post, and Heart of the Yavimaya. Double Hosers were rare spells that has a negative effect on both of its enemy colors. The double hosers were Royal Decree, Tidal Control, Dystopia, Omen of Fire, and Nature's Wrath. The story of Alliances followed the events of Ice Age after the Planeswalker Freyalise used the World Spell to end the Dominarian Ice Age. As the land grew warmer, however, floods, plague, and conflict afflicted the plane. While the plane was being damaged, the Necromancer Lim Duel had built an army of undead bent on conquering Dominaria. Realizing this, the different races and civilizations form an alliance to combat the overwhelming power of the Necromancer. The total set size was 144 cards, with 55 commons such as Arcane Denial and Gorilla Shaman, 43 uncommons such as Death Spark and Energy Arc, and 46 rares such as Helm of Obedience and Shield Sphere. There were 8 notable cards in the Alliances expansion. The first card was Ivory Gargoyle, which is a 2-power, 2-toughness creature that also had flying, which read, if Ivory Gargoyle is put into the graveyard from play, put it into play under owner's control at the end of the turn and skip your next draw phase. You could also pay 4 and 1 white, remove Ivory Gargoyle from the game. Next was Balduvian Horde, which was a 5-power, 5-toughness creature that, when it comes into play, sacrifice it unless you discard a card at random from your hand. Diminishing Returns was a blue sorcery card that stated each player shuffles his or her hand and graveyard into his or her library. You exile the top 10 cards of your library, and then each player draws up to 7 cards. Elvish Spirit God was a 2-power, 2-toughness green creature that read, if Elvish Spirit God is in your hand, you may remove it from the game to add 1 green mana to your mana pool. Play this ability as an interrupt. Yeldoran Outpost was a land card that read, when Yeldoran Outpost comes into play, sacrifice a plains or bury Yeldoran Outpost. Tap, add 1 white mana to your mana pool. 1 and 1 white, tap, put a soldier token into play. Treat this token as a 1/1 white creature. Thawing Glaciers was a land card that read, comes into play tapped. 1 and tap. Search your library for a basic land and put it into play tapped. This does not count towards your 1 land per turn limit. Shuffle your library afterwards. At the end of turn, return Thawing Glaciers to owner's hand. Lake of the Dead was a land card that read, when Lake of the Dead comes into play, sacrifice a swamp or bury Lake of the Dead. Tap, add 1 black mana to your mana pool. Tap, sacrifice a swamp to add 4 black mana to your mana pool. Our last notable card was the blue instant spell Force of Will. Force of Will read, you may pay 1 life and exile a blue card from your hand rather than pay Force of Will's mana cost. Counter target spell. A sealed booster box of Alliances is worth around $800. So that is all we have today for this episode of Card Anthology. Please let us know in the comments below what your favorite card was, what your worst card was, what kind of strategies were going on, or what other things were happening during this time. We always like to know the opinions of our viewers and subscribers every time they watch an episode of Card Anthology, so please let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the Card Bazaar channel. You can also visit our social media pages, which include Facebook and Twitter, which the links will be in the description below. And now you can also check us out on the MTG Amino app, which you can download onto your phones today. If you also missed our episode over Homelands, please click on the link in the description below also. This is Coach, signing out, and we will see you guys next time at the Card Bazaar.